In October 2024, we traveled to Seoul, South Korea, to take on an adventure that was completely new to us, a cross-country cycling trip. We are not cyclists, we had never been to Korea or anywhere in this part of the world for that matter. But here we were, preparing to take on South Korea's cross-country bike route, a dedicated cycling trail that starts just west of Seoul and ends up 633 kilometers later in Busan in the southeast. This was something we had never done before, yet it called to us and we answered. This is our first foray into 7-Eleven style South Korean food.
I chose this one because I thought it was chicken soup, and it is fish and chili soup.
Yes, which is so similar.
So similar. And it's got tofu in it too, I think. That is mystery meat with mystery broth and some sesame seeds and some seaweed.
This is what it looks like on the picture, but of course,
it's
not actually going to
look like that. This is the cute little spoon that came with our meals, and you swing it backwards and clip it in.
So we're looking for trash bags in the apartment in Seoul. They're all like this size, little tiny things. We realized that if you look at the instructions, it tells you the step by step, but if you just throw everything in there and just make a huge mess, it all looks the same at the end. That's our backup. It's our homemade trail mix. After breakfast, we went exploring down by the river, took in the beautiful views, and scoped out some of the bike trail. We also visited our first South Korean supermarket and tried to figure out what all the signs and labels said. Our haul was high on convenience and a little lower in healthy choices. That's okay because we didn't really want to cook anyway, and tomorrow we plan to visit a big open food market. Exciting. Located in the heart of Seoul, Gwangyang Market has been around since 1904 and is the largest traditional market in the city, and also holds the distinction of being the first market of its kind in South Korea. Navigating food here can be challenging if spicy foods are not palatable. We managed some good noodle dishes though, and the buzz in the market was really fun and a nice respite from the pouring rain outside. Later that afternoon, we found a restaurant near our apartment that served pork belly. You cook it right at your table. Linda was in heaven. The next day was a big day for us. We were traveling to nearby Incheon to take on the first leg of our big bike adventure. Our grand plan was to pick up our rental e-bikes the night before we were to leave Seoul. A couple of days before that, we were going to rent public bikes to do the first leg of the journey in Incheon. We would also pick up our trail passports while we were there. They would allow us to get stamps along the way. Due to some confusion over how the publicly available bikes worked at the train station, we weren't able to rent them, so we arrived at the starting line without wheels. That was disappointing. We enjoyed the views and got our first stamp anyway. We took the train back into the city and decided to rent bikes at a touristy place and travel backwards to get the stamps we were missing. These bikes were pretty crude and the saddles were hard, but we enjoyed the day anyway, and it felt like our adventure had begun. Hey.
Hi.
Where's this?
Passports.
Where's this?
It's at the end of the first trail, the Ara Locks. We're getting step number 2. Three shots. Three steps.
It was late in the evening by the time we were done, and before we knew it, our last day in Seoul had arrived. We spent our last day in Seoul shopping for supplies and collecting our spiffy rental e-bikes. Luckily, we were able to keep them overnight in our apartment. With everything prepared, we settled to sleep and readied ourselves for tomorrow's early morning departure. And
First day out with our panniers
Right.
that are full with our biking stuff. This is for just grabbing on the go. This has got our food and miscellaneous, and that's clothes.
And we're expecting a lot of rain tomorrow, so we're going to make a pretty good push today and try to get as far as possible. So we'll see how that goes. With a total population of 23 million, the metropolitan area of Seoul is sprawling, and it took us literally hours to finally be free of the city. The Seoul to Busan bike path is part of the nationwide bike certification system. To earn a certificate, we both had a bike passport, and there are stamps along the way as proof of your journey.
So these are our stamps that we've been getting, and this one is barely showing up, so we brought our own ink pad. There. We didn't get this one because it's on the north side and we're taking the south side.
Each stamp booth reminded me of the old red English telephone boxes. So this is about 25 kilometers into the first major day.
First day on the new bikes.
You can see right here.
Well, we just got our first stamp for today.
Yeah.
Stamp number 4 for the trip. Let's take a look at our snacks. Ritz crackers. That's all we have left from our trail mix from home. Peanut butter, paper towels with Snickers bar, some Earl Grey tea, and some Starbucks Via coffee. And we have no cups and no hot water, so that's all. It's about 10:30, so we're going to be stopping for lunch before long.
I was quite surprised how comfortable my bike was, although I had requested an extra soft seat pad on mine. Linda managed to find a comfortable pace early on. I have to say, she left me in the dust on more than one occasion.
Stamp number 5. Oh, this is yours because I put it in the wrong place. Myeonggae Station. Pretty sure it's that one because here is the one that went right there, and there's the Pulding Bridge that we went over. It's terrible.
What is it called? We don't even know. Well, hold on there. I'll at least describe what it is. It's like a burrito, but wrapped in seaweed with rice and some kind of fish and veggies inside. It's good. So this is, what is the name of this particular one? It's down by the observatory, right?
That town right there. All right, I'm gonna go stamp it.
What we thought was the end of our day was just the beginning of the drama. In the first motel we found, we got all settled with our stuff and paid our fee only to realize that the electricity was dodgy and not enough to charge our big e-bike batteries. In fact, one of them shorted out and our rental guys had to drive all the way with a replacement. We had to pack everything up again and look for another motel, which took quite a while. When we finally did find a place, it was, let's call it eclectic, complete with an Audrey Hepburn motif. Our view from the window looked like something from Times Square in its heyday. Needless to say, I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. Today it rained for the entire morning and afternoon. After having coffee in our room in a tiny little Dixie cup, we had breakfast in a local fried chicken place called Mom's Touch. This was to be our go-to place when local spicy food wasn't appealing. It seems like not everyone had fried chicken for breakfast. Looking at the window, we were inspired by this guy to get some plastic rainwear of our own. As luck would have it, there was a nearby store selling just what we needed. After putting our neon yellow rain suits on, we prepared to leave. Somewhere along the way, I had an epiphany. The previous night, the bike rental guys had also brought some bike locks, which we realized were missing from our accessory bag. The epiphany was when I realized I had left the bike locks at the motel this morning, and it was too late to go back. I was kicking myself for a while after that. It looks like decommissioned, doesn't it? On this wet day. It's hard enough to walk in the rain, but riding a bike, particularly with glasses on, makes it even more challenging. On the plus side, our cheap rain gear kept us mostly dry. Although I almost ruined my boots. The water just cascaded down my legs the whole time and into them. Not fun. Alright, thank you.
Raining moderately heavy today, so our cycling passports are in a bunch of plastic inside a bag, inside of a dry bag. So,
Which we don't want to deal with.
So I'm just taking some photos and a piece of paper here with all the stamps on it and hope something stays dry. Evidence we were here. I think it'll count.
Thankfully, our day was not long in distance with a paltry 40 kilometers. Still, it took us a good portion of the day. Nice. The other good news was that we were staying at the pretty swanky Sun Valley Hotel. We arrived like drowned rats in the fancy lobby, but they didn't seem to have any problem with us locking our bikes up and secured in one of the far corners, so we were happy with that. We were staying here for 2 days. It was nice to have a day of recovery and a comfortable bed after the rain. And boy, what a contrast to the previous night's accommodation. I had a feeling we'd sleep well that night. We had a lovely day of rest at the hotel, with our bikes sitting patiently in the lobby. I managed to get 2 new bike locks at a nearby store, so that was a win. We enjoyed the sun and indulged in the hotel food. Well rested, we got back on the trail this morning around 9. On this day, we saw a lot of military presence, although more in the context of road construction than actual army operations, as far as I know, which is not very far. How are you feeling this morning?
My eyes are all watered up because it's so cold and moist out here. So
It's supposed to be, what, 70 or 69
70
or something today?
later, but in the later parts of the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to do fewer stops because stopping and starting over and over and over is the most painful thing for me.
All right. Speaking of stops, our first passport booth was only a few kilometers down the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
there. This must be a self stamper. What's a good one?
All right, so where are we now?
I'll ask him. Do you know which? We missed a couple. Is this where we are now? Perfect. Thank you so much. We did get our pictures. I hope that counts. A lovely stamp.
Sometimes the trail requires us to dismount and either push our bikes up or downhill. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer.
That's good.
This was a sight you don't see every day. It was a little intimidating at first to see all these large military vehicles, but they paid us no attention and just went about their business. Negotiating traffic and lots of turns can be stressful on the bikes, especially in unfamiliar places. That's why we absolutely loved these long straightaways made especially for bikes. This stretch was flat, smooth, and the beautiful vistas were a feast for the eyes.
I'm eating a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the Korean Army with all their tanks.
So just like a regular day.
It's like a regular day.
Right.
And we've been zigzagging in and out of a lot of tanks and a lot of amphibious carriers carrying them across the water. A lot of soldiers, a lot of people out here stopping traffic, but not bothering us in the slightest. Very kind, really lovely people.
Say hi, Bobby.
Hello. The sense of peace I felt reminded me of our Camino walks, only we were traveling many times faster. I wasn't used to covering so many kilometers in a single day.
Because it's mine. Well, look at the pretty book, the book. We are about 2/3 to Chungju, and all along this beautiful path are restrooms and rest places. And we stopped here to have our lunch of peanut butter and crackers.
Yummy.
Food, as always, is a problem when we do these things. I never feel like I have enough protein. I feel that I can't find the quality of food that I need to do these kinds of strenuous days. I end up doing the Snickers and banana thing for dinner.
And it's not that the country doesn't provide those things, it's just that we're not finding the right places to go.
Well, it's that we're very intimidated by the language and very nervous about just walking into places, because some places serve only one thing. And when you sit down, you don't know that. They just start bringing you stuff, and it's not stuff that you want or like, or in my case, can even eat.
Yeah, and I'm fine with whatever. I don't have any intolerance for that stuff. And unfortunately, most of what we've seen has some kind of spice component.
It's very spicy food in Korea.
I'm sure there's some statistic out there that says how many bridges there are along this entire bicycle trail, but I can tell you it's a lot. Every day we pass countless bridges, some were elaborate and others were just remnants of what they once were. This one leading into Chungju was especially impressive with its 19 arches. We found our accommodation for the night and parked our bikes up. Aside from the Sun Valley Hotel, beds have not been comfortable. In fact, they are rock hard. Still, we were happy to be done, and it really was our favorite day so far. Now we rest. Getting up and going early in the morning never gets old for me. Today we had some challenging uphill climbs with the promise of spectacular views on the way to a fairly big town called Mungyang. We can really only plan for our destination and maybe a few photo ops, and beyond that, not knowing what the day will bring is always exciting. Okay, sometimes it can be a little stressful, but mostly not. Yeah. I usually know just the very basics of our route, and let that thrill of discovery be the driver for the day, especially in an unfamiliar culture like South Korea.
I'm sweating.
Where are we? Swambo?
Schwanbo.
I think that's how it's called. That's
Schwanbo.
pronounced.
It's a hot springs town at the foot of the mountains. With e-bikes, you don't have to push like a lot of people do, but you still have to work very hard to get up this hill. But it's great. It's great fun. That right there.
Which one? Pointer?
That one.
Okay. This was our longest day, and by the time we arrived in town, it was late. To our horror, we couldn't find any accommodation for the night. Two men who happened to be visiting the town noticed us and struck up a conversation. We shared our dilemma, and they immediately sprang into action, calling around to all the hotels. After what seemed like forever, they found a place for us about 1.5 kilometers away, and both offered to walk us there. Apparently there was a big sports event in town that night, and everywhere had been booked up for weeks. We were eternally grateful for the kindness of these two strangers. After dining on a nutritious meal of bugles and setting up our charging station, we both fell into bed. What a day. Just changing clothes because it's so hot today. Well, I mean, pretty warm. It's a big process.
I thought traveling with the backpack was a pain. These are a pain. They're great on the bike because they fit so nicely. They hold a lot of stuff or hold the stuff you need. But the minute you have to get them off and maneuver, they are the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that they don't have compartments. Everything's just gone into one big space.
There's
Plus,
awkward.
they're
There's
awkward.
no pockets for
Yes.
little stuff. And there's the city we spent the night.
I had to keep pinching myself along this entire route. I mean, just thinking where I was in the world. The scenery was spectacular, and riding a bike was a perfect balance between driving a car and walking a Camino. Bugles are like the best snack in South Korea. When we get tiny little cups in our apartment, we actually make our coffee in this and pour it into the cups.
It's a coffee maker, it's a teacup, it's a bugle holder. It's all the little crap at the end of the day when I want to keep it all together, I just shove it all in there.
Basically, it's a miracle. That's what it is.
A miracle container.
Yeah.
I love it. Part of the cycling paths in Korea include a couple of dams, and one of them is 35 kilometers that way across that bridge, and people stay in this town here. They go across the bridge and out to the dam, and then cycle back and spend the night in this town again. So 70 kilometers round trip, but we don't need that for our certification, so we're not going. I don't even know where we are, or what we're doing.
Well, we're by that bridge, so.
Oh, the Chungju bridge.
Thankfully, there weren't too many moments like this, where the hill was so steep we just had to get off and push our bikes.
You're not done yet.
The whole convenience store thing in South Korea is ideal for biking. They all have food that can be heated by microwave or hot water for noodles, and then you can be on your way, somewhat fortified. Probably not the healthiest of foods, but still.
I'm trying to see what this is. It is the Four Rivers thing.
Although parking areas at love motels provide privacy and anonymity, they also perfectly suited our more innocent need for bike security. This is a motel that we were for the night. We're in the inspiration room, and this is our favorite quote right here on the wall. It says, "My loving with you, you're loving in my mind." So, yeah. And over here we have lots of privacy. It's like triple layer of windows. And then...
It's very quiet.
Yeah, it's very quiet. And there's all kinds of messages above.
This is the little love kit. The welcome kit that you get at a love hotel. I have a shower towel, various gels and razor, lady set. I don't know what's in that. More gel, condom, more gel, toothbrush, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush. These are my packing cubes. This is how I pack. In my panniers or my backpack. Right there. The worst thing about the love motels is this. It's like literally wooden bed.
It's a killer on the back.
It is hard, hard, hard.
On a happier note, we found a fried chicken joint 5 minutes from our motel. We're already on the countdown with only 5 more days to Busan. And despite our hard mattresses, we actually managed a good night's sleep. Onwards.
Stop number 1. Mic up, sunscreen, and take a picture.
What's up with that guy that I just said hello to and he's just ignored me?
He just looked at me like I was nuts. But here's the thing. He might not understand what we say. You may think that it's a universal hello, but I wouldn't recognize hello in Korea.
Yeah, it's definitely an assumption on our part that everyone knows English.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Gumbo. This is stop number 2
Okay.
for our day to get a stamp, but we're also going to have a snack. Look at all these apartment buildings. They start back behind us, come all the way around through the mountains and go all the way to the other side. This is the city of Gumi. Anyway, look at this cool trail built out over the water.
After many nights on hard mattresses, we upgraded our stay to a nice new hotel. And so the evening routine of laundry, showers, and recharging our devices began, before finally settling down for the night. Only 4 more days to go.
We are on the Nakdong River Cycle Park and the Ganggong Weir is 26.5 kilometers. So we started here at Ara, and then this is all through Seoul, and we stayed somewhere around in here, and I think our second night was here, and then our third night was in a city park somewhere, Swanbow Park Bench. Then we went through Swanbow, then we came down here. Here's where we were last night. We did all this yesterday, and we spent the night there.
Yeah.
And we are going to here tonight.
Okay. And Busan is...
And Busan is there.
Almost there. Almost
there.
Kind of. Love motels in South Korea are short-stay hotels that offer private, discreet rooms typically used by couples, but also for tourists like us. The quality of these motels varies greatly. Despite all the decor, though, the bed was still rock hard.
So here's the sign right here, the Four Rivers sign. It has our little logo on it.
Right.
And it's telling us to cross this street right here and take that path, which takes us on that mountain or that hill right there. You can see the electrical poles going up. It's a good climb.
Right.
Or, this is new, they just put in this bicycle path right here that divides us from the traffic, and there's a tunnel right there going right through that mountain, and that's what we're going to take.
Oh yeah? Walking through the grounds of ancient Buddhist temples like this one is like stepping into a world that's both spiritual and otherworldly. Weathered stone steps, wooden buildings painted in symbolic colors, and sacred chants piped through the speakers give this place a sense of continuity. Nangasa Temple in particular carries a quiet, intimate charm that is regarded as a highlight of the bike trail, and we're really glad we made the short detour to see it. We've been so lucky with our bikes so far. We haven't had any issues since the battery charger incident at the beginning. We haven't had any flat tires either. The only complaint we have about the e-bikes is that the capacity of Linda's battery is just not enough for some of these long days, especially those with a lot of uphills. We've had to charge her battery midday at a coffee shop and even one time at a public bathroom. That can be a little stressful.
My God, that was a hell of a hill.
That was like the last big, or we think it was,
We may have one more, but we hope that's the last big one.
big pass.
That took
Of the
every
entire
ounce
trip.
of power from those batteries and from our legs, everything that we could combine to get up that hill. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're at the top. I hope we don't have to do another one.
Our legs are like jelly.
Jaioli. All right. All right, here we go.
Another long day, and we're both tired and hungry when we got to our motel. We went in search of our old familiar favorite by now, fried chicken. As luck would have it, there was a suitable restaurant nearby. We returned to our motel with the murdery hallway and dubious interior design, and dreamt of reaching Busan in 2 more days.
The logistics, which is normally my favorite part of stuff, has really just been horrible thing to do. It's kind of like when we did the French Igina. It takes up all your evening once you land somewhere to try to figure out all the ins and outs and the twists and turns of the next day. Wow, that's just so pretty.
You feel like the trip met your expectations?
Yeah, for sure. And I think in many ways has exceeded my expectations. Because if you think about it, when I first learned about this trip on one of the Facebook groups, and it just spoke to me. I felt like it was just such an adventure, and it would be a good way to get us to Asia where we've never been before.
So this is probably our 4th last or something.
Maybe
we're
second
getting
to
down.
the last. Maybe second to the last.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
How's your egg?
It's unusually dry. Not like the jammy eggs I love so much.
Show me. What do you think it is?
Maybe it's a duck egg.
That's too big for a duck egg.
Maybe it was a large duck.
You're gonna have to translate that.
Vertical?
Oh, look at that. 69 kilometers to the finish line. I have found where these pedals hit me, how the panniers hit me, and I am bruised in every spot possible. Hi. Hello. We left our lunch spot at 12:46. It is now 1:08, and this is our 7th stop. Every kilometer we're stopping for something. I don't know what, but we're stopping. Oh my God.
Usually
what is that?
pain management or photographs or video.
Yes, all of the above.
All important stuff. Are you knackered?
I am so knackered. I'm very tired.
I think this is the last stamp before
Second
the
to the
finish
last.
line.
Yep.
It's the eve of our arrival at Busan, and one more indulgence and a nice hotel. Hey, we're worth it. Just trying to figure out what the final bridge, well, the second last bridge to cross, if we can believe it.
The next after this, we're gonna cross that big long bridge there to your right.
Yeah.
That one. And after that, we'll go a good distance on the west side and then cross one more bridge onto the island that is the finish line.
There are so many parallels to this experience in our Camino adventures. We are at the stage now where we are approaching the end, and I'm ready to be done, but equally ready to just keep going. I feel like I am just beginning to learn about this wonderful country and its people. Maybe we'll be back here again. I'm certainly open to it.
Finished my Snickers bar.
The last day of these adventures is always so frenetic. The thrill of completion for me comes later when the dust settles. My body just wants to get there. My mind is so overstimulated, it's hard to focus on this monumental moment.
That's the last one. Certification.
Great.
Stephen Dempsey, Linda Davey. This certifies that we did the cross-country route all 633 kilometers. Woohoo! I am a Gold Star girl, and I got it. Woohoo! My medal. That's my medal.
There's always a hidden voice that wonders, can we actually reach the finish line? With no long-distance biking experience and navigating the maze of logistics in a foreign country, I'm especially proud of our achievement.